Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sam and this is Phil, and together we are Bars and Barbells as a team, and today we have some more Lynyrd Skynyrd on the agenda.
That's right. We've done a couple of tracks from Lynyrd Skynyrd up to this point. We started with Free Bird.
Yes.
We did the studio version of that, then we checked out the live version.
Which was so cool.
In Oakland, I believe. And then we did Simple Man. Love that song. Simple Man is so good.
Yeah.
One of my favorites that we've done on the channel, for sure.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're coming to Sweet Home Alabama is because we did Neil Young, Southern Man.
Yes.
And on that one, you guys were saying we should check this one out because this is apparently a rebuttal to Neil Young's Southern Man.
We got a little bit of beef going on here.
Yeah, sounds like a rap beef to me. Dropping diss tracks to each other. So I think the one in Southern Man from Neil Young was basically criticizing the South and that they need to take an introspective look at themselves and the way they behave and blah, 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 blah. So that was the idea behind Southern Man. And so the criticism, I guess, wasn't taken too fondly by Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yes.
And I think
Took it as a little bit of an insult.
Yeah, and I think Neil Young has another song called Alabama. But we haven't heard that one yet, so
No.
maybe we should check that one out. Anyways, so I am familiar with Sweet Home Alabama because it's a super popular hook, obviously. It's been featured in a lot of movies, and I think that's where you know it for sure from one movie.
Yeah. Sweet Home Alabama, the movie with Reese Witherspoon.
Right.
I've also just heard it. I would have friends, we'd be at cottages playing country music,
Yeah.
and they'd play it. Yeah.
Probably one of the most popular country songs, I would
Yeah.
say, of all time.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've heard it multiple times in the past, but I never listened to it
That's
in
right.
this context. So
Yeah.
I'm really interested to actually take it in from that perspective. And I think that might make you see it a little bit differently.
Right.
I always just thought it was about Southern fun and,
Well, that's what you're right, because number one, I've heard the song before, but I had no idea Neil Young was even mentioned in the song.
No, I never took that part in.
Right. So clearly I haven't listened to the lyrics very much. That's why we're doing a lyric video today. And it's interesting that there is more significance to this than just being a banger, right? Just that it was so popular, that it was made as a response, and then
Yeah.
it became so popular, right?
How often do you see a diss track blow up like that?
Well, yeah, and I don't think most people like you and I know that
Had
it has
any
anything
idea.
to do with that. So anyways, it would be interesting to see what the lyrics represent in this song. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And, getting a different perspective, because when we've discussed, Southern Man, we were kind of blown away that there were some of these things going on at that time because we obviously didn't live through it, right?
Yeah.
But that was from Neil's perspective, who was a person that isn't from the South.
Yeah, so
right. He's
just
from
an outsider
Canada. He's not even
perspective.
in the same country.
Yeah.
Right. So I
Yeah.
wonder if Lynyrd Skynyrd is going to talk about any of those things. But we're going to see two different perspectives. One from a person that has literally from the north, northern's views, and one from the south, and see how they discuss it. So you ready to check it out?
Yeah, well, before we check it out, though, we have a pop quiz question for you guys.
that's right,
And on
yeah.
the note of Neil Young, there's two famous people named in this song. One is Neil Young, that we were just talking about. Who is the other one?
That's right. If you know that answer, drop it down below.
Yes.
And if not, don't worry. You'll find out, or we'll tell you at the end if you miss it. Now, are you ready?
Now I'm ready.
All right, let's roll.
One, two, three.
Turn it up. Big wheels keep on turning, carry me home to see my kin, singing songs about the Southland.
so fire.
So good. Such a southern vibe, though. I love it.
Yeah, but it's just crazy now that we've done so many videos and so much different kinds of music. This is such a fire song. Now that I'm listening to the intricacies of it and deep diving into it, it's so well put together. Like even that guitar work and the way they have like the Alabama in the background with the background vocals sounds so fire. But you never like listen to that,
Yeah.
And the guitar work in general, just that southern rock sound that they've got, so great, so well done, and it fits so perfectly with this vibrant chorus that again they've got great harmonies that are just making it explode on the Sweet Home Alabama, and that's complemented by this great groove of this hard-hitting drums that really create a great vibe and make you want to jam out to it, right? So it's so unique in the way they put this together. It's almost got like a hip-hop feel to it.
It's like a southern theme song.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because, now that I'm reflecting on it, I just looked at it as this catchy song, but I didn't realize how intricate it was the way they put it together.
Yeah, because you don't ever stop to actually listen to it, right? Even all of the pieces that they talked in there about Neil Young in the beginning, like I've heard it, but I never really clued in. Like I was just like, you're just like bobbing along to it. Like you don't really like actually take it in.
He literally comes out and says his name.
Yeah,
like
it's not
times. It's not like a subtle, he
says Mr. Young, Neil, and then Neil Young.
Yeah, and I never paid attention to it to realize that he was talking about Neil Young. Although I wasn't familiar with Neil Young either, so maybe I might have, that's why I didn't pick up on it.
Who even is that? Yeah,
but he was straight and to the point with it and calling out him immediately.
Yeah, for sure.
Any additional thoughts before we get
I'm
going?
loving it. Like I just love the groove. It's like always been a song that I feel like has been fun and like I said, enjoyable. But I always just thought of it as this like country party song, feel good kind of southern fun song, whereas like there's actually like a lot more meaning to the lyrics and stuff in it, which is cool to take in.
And a southern man doesn't need Neil Young, is apparently
nope.
the going quote here. Let's see what else they do in the back half.
Now muscle shows has got the swampers, and they've been known to pick a song or two. Lord, they get me off so much. They pick me up when I'm feeling blue, and now how about you? Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Sweet home Alabama, oh sweet home, where the skies are blue and the dumb is true. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Yeah. Doris got that answer.
Never heard that for sure. The outro with the keys either.
Yeah, it's sick.
So one thing I will just say, I didn't feel like because there was so few lyrics that he addressed a lot of what Neil said. So Neil, I think, said a lot in his song lyrically. This had much fewer lyrics and was just more of like, I love Alabama.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I think for me, like I was just thinking about this before you started talking. What I kind of take from it, and I was thinking about it in the back half, is that I feel like the underlying message of this song is kind of just this feeling of fondness of coming home, like to your home. And even though there's not going to always be like no one's home is perfect. Like nowhere is perfect. And there's always going to be these things that are like not perfect about where you're from, but you're still going to have this fondness and from where you're from, and like have these things that he was talking about are things that like, that are special to him, right? Like he was talking about certain things in there that like make him feel good or like give him good memories. And I feel like that's probably kind of what he was in, not directly, but I guess in an indirect way, kind of addressing Neil Young and saying like, okay, maybe there's things that have gone on here, but like, who are you to judge us? Because there's things that probably happen everywhere in the world.
Right.
And like, we're all going to have a different sense. Like I'm going to view my home differently than you're going to view, like you were saying, somebody from Canada viewing Alabama and judging it. Like pay attention to where you're from first and the problems going on there.
Yeah, I think that's really accurate. I think you summarized it well.
Yeah.
That's what I would gather from the lyrics too.
Yeah.
But I was just more referencing that there wasn't anything directly, it was like you were saying, there's a theme of this song of what Sweet Home Alabama means and is, and that's what it means to him. But it was nothing, I almost expected him to, because I'm thinking about it of like my own experiences with like hip hop records, right? Somebody says something and then you dispute what they said and go back and kind of highlight
shots.
why they were wrong, right?
Yes.
This is more, I think, of a toned down response in a way that wasn't, over the top, starting a conflict, which is probably the right way to approach it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It just was, I think, going in, I was anticipating something different than what it came out to be. Doesn't matter, because Sweet Home Alabama is absolutely fire and amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it came out this way. It was just a little bit different than what I expected.
Yeah, for sure. I think too, well, I'll give you guys the answer to that pop quiz question first before I say this, because it's kind of correlated. But the answer to the pop quiz question is the other person that was mentioned was the governor of Alabama, George Wallace. And then when they addressed him right after the Neil Young part, they said like people that support him, boo, 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 meaning like we don't like him. And then also saying like we did what we could do, right? And then I think that there is some sort of association with segregation and stuff like that with George Wallace, which also goes back to what he was talking about in that the other song, right? Southern Man. So I think that was also them kind of just saying like, we didn't support the governor, we did what we could do, like we can't change everything ourselves type thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably him kind of subconsciously like addressing that as well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there was like a lot said, so it would have been hard to address everything.
Yes,
and that was probably just his way of
taking over the whole song type thing.
Yeah. And I think you summarized it well, though. You guys can add any thoughts that you want to in those comments and let us know any insights, because we do appreciate them. And we're not trying to get into any hot water with this one. We're not trying to say, Neil versus Lynyrd Skynyrd. I think they crushed their beef anyways. I think they moved on and put things behind them. And I'm just happy that a fire song like this came out of it. I like Neil Young's Southern Man. I think it was great. But I think this one just is obviously a classic that is going to go down in history for a long, long time. So, this wouldn't have happened if Neil didn't write Southern Man in Alabama, right? Yeah. And sometimes creativity, to stoke the creativity and build the best songs, you need a little fire under your ass. And,
that's true.
And so clearly Lynyrd Skynyrd had a little bit of fire in this one, and they were like, we're going to put out a banger that's going to be played forever. And
this is definitely one of those songs that like can get stuck in your head. Like,
Oh yeah. And like I said, though, there's so much to it in the composition. It's not just a catchy song. It's really a great, great song. So I very much enjoyed it, and I'm glad that we checked this out in more detail, even though we were familiar with it.
Yeah,
and
we visited it for sure.
Got to experience it in full now. So let us know if there's anything else you guys want us to check out next. Make sure you hit the like button, leave us a comment, hit the subscribe button, notification bell as well. Hopefully we see you in our next video. We drop 2 every single day. Sometimes it's something like this, some southern rock feel. Other times it's going to be some heavy metal. Other times it might be comedy, sports, or history. You never know what you're going to get with us, but it's always entertaining, right, Sam?
It is. So come join us for the ride.
All right, that's it from us today, guys. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you guys in the next one.